This is Jerod Lakefield, a novel by Don Fensler, Part 1. Migraine. Something was wrong. Very wrong. I had a headache that was like a fucking hot steel rod had been shot through my head. It felt like it was very early morning, but the bedroom was fucking aflame with white light. I got out of bed and walked to the window, and the fucking sun was twice its usual side. I called to my wife, Jennifer, come look at the sun. It's fucking humongous. She mumbled something which basically told me to stop using the F word and that she was not fucking going to come to the window to look at the sun. Walk-on. The first time I saw him, it was a tryout for walk-ons. The coaches hated these because no one ever good came. Everybody but your fucking Aunt Agnes came, and they all sucked. It was a waste of time, but you had to do it because it was sports, and they were for everybody, especially basketball. Oh, shit, give me a break. I noticed and remember Jerod Lakefield at this workout, not because he was particularly so good, but because of the length of the shots he was taking during the warm-up. He launched them from goddamn about halfway between the three-point line and the half-court line. Long, looping fucking shots. I can't remember how many went in, the percentage. All I remember was the length of the shots, the steely look in his eyes. Real badass, but in a cool way. The other players saw the shots and said, like, what the fuck you doing, dude? Those aren't jump shots. They're motherfucking North Korean missile launches. The other coaches looked over. They didn't say anything or even shake their heads, but you knew what they were thinking. Let's get this guy out of here as soon as possible. My goddamn Aunt Agnes, bless her heart, has more of a chance to make the team than this white-haired dweeb. But Jerod's steely eyes didn't flinch, and he kept shooting the long shots, and the other guys didn't say anything anymore. They all shrunk like penises in a Pennsylvania snowstorm and stared in total silence. The son of a bitch had a way about him that made you want to stop and stare. And finally, I finally saw he was making a lot of the shots. A fucking uncanny number of shots were going in. Of course, he was being covered by a fellow limp-wristed dweeb, but still, it was impressive. The head coach, Al Tryon, looked over at me and said, fucking uncanny number of this guy's shots are going in. Who is he, anyway? I have no idea, I said, but it's probably just a lucky streak. I wanted to say it's probably just a fucking lucky streak, but Al Tryon was older than me and kind of scary, and I didn't want to rush things using words like fucking around him. If you blow it the first time, you may never get a chance again. But, to tell the truth, I feel totally ineffectual without that word in my repertoire, as it brings every sentence to life. Oh, what the fuck am I talking about? Let's get back to Jerod Lakefield. So then there was a scrimmage. Jerod did not get the ball much. I remember he did make 2 arching long shots. Again, the other players trying out were disconcerted because he wasn't following the plays all the time, just some of the time. It was obvious the son of a bitch had an independent streak about him even back then. So Jerod only made 2 shots. He was not going to make the team making 2 fucking baskets, because even though the 2 shots were made from halfway between the three-point line and half-court line, they were certainly just piss lucky fucking freak occurrences, I thought. And probably the other coaches did too. But what impressed us, amazed us, was his defense and those steely eyes. He was a fucking wall. He was a fucking Siberian saber-toothed tiger. He devoured people on defense. As soon as they got the ball, he was next to them, so calm, and the steely eyes, but they could not move. He turned their bodies to concrete and molasses. He turned them into Dixie cups of fucking cat whiz. The eyes were steely and cold and deadly as a fucking great white shark's, I swear to Jesus on high. As for shooting, there was no shooting from the guys he covered. The man he covered never had the thought of shooting so much. He was so much in concrete and molasses. That was his situation. Jerod would let them pass the ball away from the basket. That's all. I saw this, and the coaches saw this, and we will never forget the first moment we saw this player, who we still didn't know was Jerod Lakefield, play defense. We have never seen defense played like this. The man he was covering was frustrated beyond fucking belief, not knowing whether to cry or punch Jerod Lakefield or head to the Texas Book Depository and shoot fucking John F. Kennedy himself. I remember this time, looking back on it, with all I know now. It's hard to remember a time when I did not know Jerod Lakefield. My memory is foggy. Partly it's because I don't want to remember a time before Jerod Lakefield. End of part 1.